Hey and welcome. Today I will talk about my Ixora plant. And this comes from the genus Ixora. And this is also known as the jungle flame. And in the Philippines, this is called as the Santan plant. And this plant originated from the tropical Asia. And the plant that I have here is the dwarf Ixora. And people love this plant because they are small and they give big clusters of beautiful flowers. And they are beautiful and showy. They make big clusters of flowers. Many also think that their flowers are everlasting because you can always see the big clusters of flowers at the top of the plant. But they also die and they are only continuously blooming, and these flower clusters just emerge on the top of the branches, and that makes them very attractive. And Ixora plants usually have 3 flowering periods in a year, and it constantly blooms with only a very short period of resting. And so they seem to continuously bloom all throughout the year. Ixora is commonly planted as border heads because its leaves and branches can be easily trimmed and shaped into any designs for the garden beds, lawns, and along pathways or walkways. You can also plant this dwarf Ixora with some other plants in your garden and still will beautifully grow without crowding and overlapping into another plant space. Its small dwarf size with its compact leaves and branches will gracefully fit into small spaces in the garden. Ixora is best planted outdoors, but it can also be grown in containers, and it also makes a nice house plant. You can also allow it to grow naturally without trimming its branches, and it will still look good. In my neighborhood, we call this Ixora plant a Santan. It is played by children as necklace, bracelet, ring, and headdress. By connecting the flowers to another, they create fun accessories. Ixora or Santan is propagated by stem cuttings, and I will show you how I grow Ixora from cuttings. And I'm going to cut this about 4 to 6 inches long. I'm taking these cuttings because I want to share how I grow and how I propagate this Santan plant. And I'm getting another here. And so now I got some cuttings and I'm going to plant this on the pot. Now take a stem and cut into 4 to 6 inches long, and then cut off the leaves or strip off all the lower leaves and leaving only few leaves at the top. And if there are buds or flowers, cut them as well. And make an angle cut in the base just below the node. And then plant it in your starter pot and water the plant. And if you want to root it in water, this Ixora plant can also be rooted in water. You just put your stems into water in any container and place in cool shade, then wait about 3 to 4 weeks or more, and the roots will grow. And this is 5 weeks since I placed the stems in water. We will compare this to the stem I planted in soil. In the same time I put this in water. And these are all 5 weeks now. This rooted in water has grown many roots and very much longer roots, but they are thinner, thread-like roots. These stems in soil grow lesser roots, but they have stronger and bigger roots. And I observed that it rooted faster in water than in soil. But I prefer to plant it in soil so the growing process of the plant will not be interrupted. Because the plant rooted in water will have a hard time to adjust to the soil medium by the time you plant it in this soil. And in planting Ixora, especially in pots, plant it in a well-draining soil because it does not like soil that holds too much water and becomes saggy. You may need some coarse ingredients to mix with your soil to help drain the water faster. And Ixora will grow in any kind of soil except clay. And Ixora prefers a well-drained, slightly acidic soil and rich in humus. You may add some amount of organic manure to your soil for better growth and blooms of Ixora plants. And I'm planting my Ixora in 40% loam soil with 30% garden soil and 30% rice hulls. And after planting, provide them moisture and shade. They don't want to be dried out, so keep the soil moist and water when needed to prevent it from drying out, but do not overwater. And they need bright light but not sunlight because sun will easily dry the stem and will burn the leaves. So keep the newly planted cuttings in a cool, bright and shaded area. Covering the planted stems with plastic bags will help retain moisture so that it will not dry out, and it will create a warm condition around the roots, and it will encourage the roots to grow. When new leaves start to grow, move them into partly shaded area, then gradually expose it to the sun without too much strain. As it goes accustomed to the direct sunlight, gradually move it to a sunny location. Ixora as a tropical plant needs a lot of sun, so keep it in areas where it can receive full sunlight. When they are exposed to greater sunlight, they grow well and produce more blooms and bigger clusters of more colorful flowers. And they will bloom less when they are planted on shady area. Dwarf Ixora is pest resistant. There is not much problems in pest. Ixora doesn't really need fertilizing. It will grow and bloom without fertilizing. But you can always add some compost and some manure to your plant. And when you are in doubt of your soil acidity, you can give it a mixture of 1 tablespoon of white vinegar for 1 gallon of water. This will help increase the acidity of the soil that is needed by Ixora plants to grow well. And here we come to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching, friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.